Hello and welcome to another edition of News Showcase. I am Priya, Tamil Nadu's first artificial intelligence news presenter. Large parts of northern and central India have been hit by intense heatwave conditions, with temperatures reaching 50 degrees Celsius in Rajasthan and Haryana. The Indian Meteorological Department said temperature surged to 49.9 degrees in parts of Delhi, which is 0.9 degrees higher than the city's highest ever recorded. According to the Weather Service, there could be a break in the hot conditions this week. The Haryana government has brought forward all state-run and private schools' summer vacations to Tuesday. According to the Central Water Commission, there is a reduction in water storage in 150 key reservoirs to just 24% of their storage, worsening the country's water shortages in many states and having a substantial impact on the production of hydropower. The government of Delhi has ordered authorities to impose fines on residents who waste water as reservoirs go dry in the unprecedented summer heat. It said households and residential blocks will be hit with a fine of Rs 2,000 if drinking water is used for washing automobiles and other non-essential purposes. Among other measures, the government has told water authorities to form 200 teams that will fan out across the city to crack down on water wastage. Atishi, the minister responsible for water supplies, has said neighboring Haryana state was not sharing water with Delhi. She said if talks fail, her government will seek the help of the court to resolve the water crisis. The Supreme Court has said it will not consider Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's plea for extension of his interim bail. A court official pointed out that he was already given permission to seek regular bail from the trial court. Earlier this month, the Supreme Court freed him temporarily to let him campaign for his Aam Aadmi Party in the ongoing national elections. Under the terms of the interim bail, he should not undertake official duties and report back to prison on Sunday. Kejriwal sought extension on medical grounds because he needed a PET scan after losing 7 kilos of weight in a short time. He was arrested in March for suspected corruption in the Delhi government's dealings with breweries on the supply of liquor for the state. Major Radhika Sen, a veteran of the UN peacekeeping effort in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, is set to receive the 2023 Military Gender Advocate of the Year award. The UN award recognizes her exceptional efforts and support of women's and girls' rights during her time as a peacekeeper. Her efforts in accordance with the 2000 Security Council resolution to shield women and girls from sexual assault associated to conflicts are also acknowledged by the award. As a result of her work, women found a safe space to discuss their issues. She will be honored at a ceremony on the International Day of the United Nations Peacekeepers. Sen is the second peacekeeper from India to win the coveted title. Women in border areas near Jammu and Kashmir's Rajouri district are being empowered through the NRLM Umeed scheme sponsored by the authorities. Mushroom cultivation, silkworm farming, dairy units, and strawberry cultivation are some of the businesses which women have adopted under the initiative. Previously, these areas were affected by shelling, which disrupted daily life. Earlier, women were dependent on others for their livelihood, but now they feel empowered and independent as they take up jobs under the scheme. The initiative, backed by banks, provides loans at low interest rates, enabling women to set up businesses and become self-employed. This initiative aims to transform the lives of poor women living in close proximity to the international border in Rajouri district. Pope Francis has issued an apology after reports that he spoke disparagingly about gay individuals. A statement from the Vatican said, "The Pope apologized to anybody who was hurt by the use of a word and stated that he did not aim to offend any individual." The Pope allegedly stated the offensive word when the Italian Bishops' Conference discussed whether gay men should be permitted to pursue priesthood training. Although the meeting was private, a lot of details about it have been made public. Italian tabloid website Da Gospia first reported the comments before it was confirmed by other media. LGBT Catholic rights organizations described the remarks as shocking and hurtful. Defenders of the Pope pointed out that he sometimes makes mistakes when using Italian as he grew up in Argentina. People in South Africa voted in elections for a new parliament and 9 provincial legislatures. Reports say there's a possibility the governing African National Congress could lose its majority for the first time since 1994. As polling began, there were lines at numerous polling stations across the nation. Some reports said there were delays at some locations. Over 27 million South Africans are eligible to vote amid an increasingly divided political scene in the country. 11 independent candidates and a record 70 parties are running in the federal and local elections. Unemployment has been one of the most contentious topics on the campaign trail, especially for young people. According to the World Bank, this is the highest rate globally, with around 1/3 of job-seeking South Africans presently experiencing joblessness. The White House has said the U.S. does not think Israel's Rafah operations in southern Gaza are on a large scale. Spokesman John Kirby's comments came just hours after Israeli forces entered the city's center and purportedly took control of a strategically significant hill that overlooked the adjacent Egyptian border. This month, U.S. President Joe Biden threatened to cut off arms sales to Israel if it invaded the Rafah population centers, where it is still thought that hundreds of thousands of civilians are seeking refuge. The spokesman was also grilled over an Israeli strike at a camp for displaced people on Sunday that resulted in a fire that killed at least 45 Palestinians, many of them women, children, or the elderly. Balloons containing propaganda materials and trash were released by North Korea into 2 border provinces in the south, causing the authorities to issue an order to the locals to remain indoors. On Wednesday, South Korea's military issued a warning to the public not to handle the white balloons or the plastic bags that were attached to them, citing the presence of waste and trash in them. The authorities are currently analyzing the balloons that were discovered in the provinces of Gyeonggi and Gangwon. Since the Korean War in the 1950s, balloons have been utilized by both North and South Korea in their propaganda campaigns. The latest incident a few days ago comes after North Korea threatened to react to activists in the South's regular scattering of leaflets and other rubbish in border areas. For the first time in over 50 years, a workers' union at Samsung Electronics has called for a day-long strike in June. The National Samsung Electronics Union, which has over 5% of the entire workforce of the company, has not ruled out a full-scale strike in the future. The company has said it will continue talks with the union, which has about 28,000 members. The union has asked for a bonus based on the company's profits as well as a 6.5% wage increase. Since the beginning of the year, the management and the union have been in negotiations, but they have not been able to come to an agreement. Samsung Electronics is the world's biggest manufacturer of memory chips, cell phones, and televisions. A deep-sea diver and a U.S. billionaire are arranging a submersible trip to investigate the wreck of the Titanic. The goal of Ohio entrepreneur and adventurer Larry Connor and co-founder of Triton Submarines Patrick Leahy is to see the shipwreck in the North Atlantic Ocean by traveling in a submersible down to a depth of about 3,800 meters. Last year, the breakup of Titan, built by OceanGate, which claimed the lives of 5 explorers, shocked the private submersible sector. The Titan submarine, made of carbon fiber, was certified to a maximum depth of only 1,300 meters, but it went well below that level to reach the Titanic wreckage. A representative for Connor's business stated on Tuesday that the planned trip wouldn't happen until the sub had received complete certification from a marine agency. A highly advanced joint European-Japanese satellite has been deployed to quantify the impact of clouds on climate. A SpaceX rocket lifted the 2.3-ton satellite into orbit from California. Certain clouds at low height have the ability to chill the Earth, while others at high altitude function as a blanket. The EarthCare mission will scan the atmosphere with a laser and a radar to determine the exact location of the balance. It's among the biggest unknowns in the computer models that predict how the climate will react to rising greenhouse gas concentrations. The European Space Agency, which is in charge of the project, has called it their most complicated Earth monitoring endeavor to date. EarthCare will operate from an orbit at a height of about 400 kilometers. A 9-year-old girl in Gujarat has spun her way into the Guinness World Record for her extraordinary skills with the hula hoops. Jamini Soni's deep passion for the ring fueled her ability to master the hula hoop at a very young age. The 4th grader from Vadodara city spun the hula hoop over her head 153 times in less than a minute, which won her a place in the coveted record books. She smashed the previous record of 138 spins to make a name for herself. The hula hoop is used by fitness enthusiasts and dancers to maintain a slim bodyline, and also used by children as a toy in many households. It is believed an hour on the hoop burns as many calories spent on a treadmill. Thank you for watching. I am Priya, Tamil Nadu's first artificial intelligence news presenter. Do tune in, same time tomorrow, for a roundup of the latest news and updates in India and around the world.